Today, as we continue on with ideas of what happens with the Knights of the Round Table and King Arthur, we're going to look a little bit at the history of where these stories came from. We're going to start looking at the northern seas around the 5th to the 8th centuries AD, and the channel from the 4th to the 7th centuries AD, and Davies' Annals and Origin of Mercia. So that is when the Anglo Saxons begin arriving to northern Europe around 450 AD, and they start driving the Britons to the western part of the island. Now, the Anglo-Saxon culture became the basis for English culture, and their spoken language became known as Old English. So when we start looking at the Anglo-Saxon and medieval periods, let's start with the historical context. Now, shortly after the Anglo-Saxons arrive, the Vikings also arrive to England around 790 when they start looting, killing, and even burning down entire villages. But they finally meet defeat at the hands of a powerful Anglo-Saxon king known as Alfred the Great. And then in 1042, Edward the Confessor made his cousin, William Duke of Normandy, heir to the throne, and on Christmas Day 1066, William defeated Harold in the Battle of Hastings and was crowned the King of England. Next, let's look at the cultural influences at the time. Well, the Anglo-Saxons believed in weird or fate, and they saved their admiration for heroic warriors who preserved fate in battle. Also, Christianity is opening up a new possibility at this time. The suffering of this world was merely a prelude to the eternal happiness that they would receive in their heaven. Because of this, monasteries become centers of knowledge and social activities, offering the only possibility for education at this time. But when Vikings invaded England, they plundered the monasteries and threatened to eliminate all traces of Anglo-Saxon and medieval culture. The literature at the time. The early literature of the Anglo-Saxon period took the form of lengthy epic poems praising the deeds of heroic warriors. Now, the epic poem was a history lesson and moral sermon, inculcating cultural pride and teaching how a true hero should behave. Now, the most famous survivor at this time is the epic Beowulf, which relates the tale of a heroic warrior who battles monsters and dragons to protect his people. At the time, we also have lyric poems, and they reflected a more everyday reality. Some reflected the loss and death typical of early Anglo-Saxons, or the religious faith or moral instructions of early Christianity. Now, most Old English poems are anonymous, with a few exceptions. A poet-monk named Cadman is described by Venerable Bede in his famous History of England. And lastly, let's look at an idea of an epic from an epic poem. Well, in an epic, the hero is a legendary figure who performs deeds requiring incredible courage and strength. The hero embodies character traits that reflect lofty ideals. The poet uses formal diction and a very serious tone. And lastly, the poem reflects timeless values and universal themes. Thanks so much for stopping by for this quick look at Anglo-Saxon and medieval periods. Again, if you'd like to learn more about King Arthur and his knights, or the search for the Holy Grail, or about Camelot, I have other different videos on my channel. And as always, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe.